My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Libras. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot, and for this evening, I'm going to be doing your general love reading, your 5 card spread. But before I do that, I want to offer these 24 red roses as a token of my love and appreciation for your love, support, and devotion towards my channel. And thank you so much for joining me in this very beautiful evening as well. So, for this 5 card love reading, the first card represents you, the second, the other person, the third, the relationship, the fourth, the past, the fifth, the future. And then I'm going to draw Vampire Oracle for you, and then Favoli, and one card from the French tarot deck of Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria. And my goodness, for card number 1, you get 9 of Swords. Wow. My goodness, Nightmare City. It seems like even this week that a lot of zodiacs are kind of struggling for some reason. Okay, but of course to each their own, and I'm sure, everything will hopefully work out fine. But the Nine of Swords, when a single one's out in this world, it just kind of shows that you've maybe been recently rejected, or maybe, you're too afraid to approach other people. But either way, there's, definitely a sense of nightmares taking place. And I would definitely, just try to look into this, because if you're in a very toxic relationship, that's really putting you in a real fearful position and stuff like that. Well, you don't want to be like some of these historical figures, like even the wives of King Henry VIII, for example, where once upon a time you fell in love with somebody based off of their appearance or status, and then it just turned into one big nightmare. I mean, I don't really think it's like that in other ways, but the thing is, it's like, I feel like when it comes to relationships, especially based off of my observations from a lot of humans, is that, it's a very complicated matter, because, it's like a lot of humans, they're attracted to each other, and then they fall in love, and then one person either, accepts, hey, well, one person's, like, proposition in the other ways, and the other person, could also be just walking away and stuff like that. The thing is you just don't know how it's going to go. But either way, I mean, I want to will wish you all the best if you're currently struggling. Hopefully you can try to get out of it. Because the other person's 7 of Pentacles. So there's definitely a kind of a common ground. But let's look at, you for a moment, whether you're in a current relationship or in a singlehood position, as I do sense some form of nightmare taking place and hesitation. So the thing is if you're in a current relationship and you're hesitant about leaving, the thing what I just want to mention is that I can understand how you might, have, complicated feelings. On one side, you pretty much just think, I want to leave this place. It's just really damaging. It's really disastrous. It's scary. It's, maybe potentially dangerous in other ways. But maybe you're also too afraid of leaving as well. And I've come across countless humans, that are in a very, negative and toxic relationship, but they don't want to leave because they're too afraid. They're too afraid to voice their own, thoughts and opinions. They're too afraid to even, instigate a divorce or breakup, because they don't want to be threatened or stalked, or maybe even, face consequences in other ways as well. Because the thing is a lot of humans, they also tend to think, oh yeah, it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows and stuff like that, right? Because maybe you've just been through, some kind of conflict with your current spouse or companion. And then it's putting you in a sense of kind of, rethinking this whole relationship, for that matter. But if we look at the other person as, it's like, maybe, you're struggling with a nightmare, and the other person could also be hesitant about, or maybe you're kind of going through some personal challenges yourself, and the other person is also hesitant about approaching you, or maybe even leaving as well. So, but of course, we're going to have to look at the other cards to verify everything, but it's also a general reading, so it really doesn't have to be resonating. So for the relationship, 3 of Wands. So I do see some kind of journey and movement taking place. So maybe, one of you is going to be boarding the ship of opportunity and stuff like that. So I feel like that, either you're going to walk away from something, or maybe you're going to head off towards something. But I feel like that this card is based off of how there's definitely some kind of journey for you to, approach, or what have you, in other ways as well. So I mean, but I do sense maybe some hesitancy. Maybe you are hesitant about approaching this person, based off of this 7 of Pentacles. Yes, the product and relationship is there, but what's causing you to hold back? What's causing you to have second thoughts, right? And maybe you do need to take a break and maybe return back to your elder home or something, or some other location, and just kind of rethink and process this current relationship that you're in, and to make sure that's what you truly want. But if you're in a position that you've come from like nothing but maybe a broken home, and you just feel like that relationships are nothing but, based off of nightmares because that's your own experience and stuff like that, I can also sense how you could also have hesitation, regarding any relationships as well. Now, in the past, you got Queen of Wands, also known as a Leo card. So the thing is what I saw is that, you were pretty much in a very strong, very passionate, very, you probably drew this person towards you. Maybe you had some kind of magnetic energy about you that just drew, the Seven of Pentacles towards you in other ways as well. But the thing is, it's like, well, maybe you're the one that instigated this relationship. Maybe you're the one that approached this person and stuff like that. But I feel like that, yes, you had a lot of strength and confidence within you, but yet what actually put you in a sense of feeling uncertain? But of course, I've come across countless of humans that once upon a time you feel incredibly strong and confident about maybe engaging with humans, actually getting married to humans and stuff like that. But then in the end, you just think, what did I actually do? Though, be rest assured, in the future you get 10 of girls. Happy home, happy earth, happy family, and abundance. So maybe, it's like if you can overcome your fears and maybe actually just think, okay, it's like not all relationships are destined to break and end up in a real disastrous ending, right? Because the Ten of Cups is definitely happy home, happy hearth, happy family, but you could also have so much confidence in the future as well. You had it in the past with the Queen of Wands, Leo energy, and you could actually find some other form of confidence or abundance taking place in the future as well. And you could also have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio placements, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo placements, or other air placements, including Gemini and Aquarius. Because Oracle says seduction, allure, desire, and manipulation. Now, I was technically seduced by the vampire, so the thing is I know how strong and euphoric and blissful, seduction is and stuff like that. However, this third word says manipulation. So the thing is if you were ever seduced by somebody, and what they call love bombing, where they pretty much just shower you with gifts, false promises, hopes, and expectations, and they just love you, they'll smile whenever you're around, yada, 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 all these fake promises, then comes the manipulation in the end. And maybe that's what you've just experienced, based off of the Nine of Swords, and maybe the other person has the Seven of Pentacles, or maybe this could still be you in other ways where you just think, I'm having second thoughts about this current relationship, or even relationships on a general note, because, to be seduced is so intoxicating. I mean, I just am so impressed by how these actors are able to, perform, a seductive vampire for that matter. Or any, like handsome or beautiful woman, stuff like that. But there's usually a string attached when it comes to seducing somebody. So, because Favole wants to continue with, yep, Five of Swords. So there's some kind of battle to be won in the future. So the thing is I feel like that you're probably going to win this battle, because maybe, you were definitely seduced by this person. And the thing is, maybe this person just gave you false hopes and promises. And you just think, why did this have to happen and stuff like that? How could I have avoided this? Well, the thing is you have to be so self-forgiving, so self-loving, and so self everything practically, because the thing is at the time you probably didn't realize what was going on, because that's a very harsh reality when it comes to seduction. Is this person, man, woman, whoever approaches you, and they just kind of come across as like this very aphrodisiac kind of feeling, and it just puts you in like kind of this real like fuzzy state where you just think, wow, I don't know what to think and stuff like that. And then then you experience that beautiful first kiss and stuff like that. And then you just fall in love. Oh my goodness. A lot of these stories, blah, blah, blah. It's a very, intoxicating feeling, but yet there's a heavy price to pay. Wow. Because the Tarot Interdit Vampirium wants to finish off with Neuf d'Épée. Oh my goodness, it seems like a lot of people are getting nightmares in the future. Aha. So you get the second Nine of Wands in the future as well. So I would just be so cautious about anything right now. I would try to get out of your current relationship that you are currently in. And maybe, just try to maybe even wait for your current spouse, man, woman, to fall asleep, or maybe even in any way, and then try to literally physically escape the situation. But if you can't, I hope it's not like some of these horror stories and stuff like that. But if hypothetically, that you just don't have, the courage to leave because you have hesitation and because you just think, oh yeah, it could potentially turn into a very happy, I'm happy earth, happy family. Well, that's what the seducer is also going to be promising you as well, is how, how this person is going to be, will giving you their world or the world in a general note, and to be showering you with all of these fake promises. And then surprise, here comes the Nine of Swords behind the seducer in the form of manipulation. So I think, do whatever you want. There's definitely a battle to be won in your favor. So maybe, you do need to get yourself some kind of divorce attorney in other ways as well. But either way, sad but true, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. But if this reading resonated for Libra or Libra placements out in this world, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel for more vampire knowledge, tarot, readings, Dracula. Because this is an interesting fact about what I've heard actually just recently from my human about the movie Dracula. Is not only are there a few historical inaccuracies about that movie as compared to the real Vlad the Impaler and stuff like that, but here's the thing. Is, it's like the movie came out in Europe like in July of this year, but it's not going to be showing up till like next year in different other countries, including the United States. So every so often I will throw in some, Dracula readings, and I will even throw in a couple of, historical facts based off of Dracula. And then if you guys come across a movie like that, well, then you would actually think, oh, okay, and stuff like that. I hope, at least. But other than that, I want to thank you again for joining me in this beautiful evening. I want to wish you all the best of luck on where this journey may take you. But as per usual, take excellent good care of yourselves.